warm-up. We have 4 different warm-ups in the curriculum that we provided you guys. These warm-ups are designed, whether it's your first time touching a soccer ball, 100th time touching a soccer ball, we're designed to provide an engaging and fun way to get kids ready for the lesson. So in this first activity, actually, we're not going to be using a soccer ball at all. It can progress and it will progress with a soccer ball if you guys are working on adding counter to it. But this game is called Columbus Crew, ... So the way it works is, in your teaching space, you can use the baseline of the basketball court, or if you're outside, use that sideline. But every student is going to be lined up just like this, one big line. And ideally, you're going to start behind the line. So everybody's feet should be behind the line. This game really more or less a fun little listening game. It also touches on different motor skills, such as hopping, jumping. Once we include a soccer ball, different foot skills, and you can progress with different hand skills as well. But the big thing in this game is listening, okay? So, everybody's behind the line, and when I say Columbus, you're gonna hop across the line to the other side. If I say crew, you're gonna hop back. If you move, or if you don't hop to the correct side, you're out. So you're just gonna take a step back, okay? That sound good? Alright, let's try it. Alright, ready? So it's Columbus is forward, crew is backward. Right? Alright, here we go. Crew. Bye. So anybody that just moved. Columbus. You too.
If you jumped, you're out.
If you jumped, you're out. If you moved, you're out. We're just using this sideline right here, right? So if you jump forward, you're supposed to jump forward
You
again.
only jump one forward or one back.
Just one
You're
time.
already forward, you don't jump forward again.
Correct. Got it? Yeah, really. Okay, cool.
Come on, baby.
Go back. Perfect. Crew. Columbus. 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 Okay, crew. Columbus. Columbus. You're on the line, so it would be Columbus, roll, through, roll, right? Or you can even do it with your hands too, and they can have a partner going back and forth. But now for the second one, which is called Space Wars, we're going to introduce the soccer ball, dribbling, and some basic soccer skills. So let me get that set up real quick. We're going to split you guys into 2 teams, and we'll get going, okay? Knockout game. So, how it's going to work is, this game is called Space Wars. I'm going to divide you guys into 2 groups.
The lady at the front,
There's going to be a group on this white line right here. Does everybody see this line of cones right here on the other side? That is where the other group is going to be. Every person participating will have a soccer ball. Once you have your soccer ball on your end lines, you're going to be dribbling at each other, trying to protect your soccer ball, right? While trying to knock out the other person's soccer ball out of this space. So, the boundaries for this game is this end line and the cones. I'm going to be standing on this side right over here by this pile of soccer balls where Robert is. If it goes past me on this side as well, you're out. So, I'll explain a little bit further, but let's do this. Let's get everybody hear me?
Yes.
Good? Alright. This warm-up activity, the focus of this one really is decision making. It's an introduction to dribbling as well, which is the first lesson we're going to get into a little bit later. And really, it's just a fun warm-up activity, regardless if you've touched a soccer ball once, 100 times, 1,000 times. This is just something that everybody can have fun with and enjoy. So, like I said earlier, this game is called Space Wars. It's one of the warm-up activities, one of the 4 warm-up activities in the curriculum. How it works is you'll have 2 teams on each side. Everybody will have a soccer ball. We're just using the end line to the cones, and then this white line, and the other line where Robert is right here. On my go. continuously dribbling in this space. So once everybody starts dribbling, the two teams are trying to knock out the other person's soccer ball outside of this grid. If you accomplish that and you knock out somebody else's soccer ball, if your ball was knocked out, you're just going to take a step back. Just grab your ball and take a step back. If you're dribbling and you accidentally knock your soccer ball out, sorry, you also are out. Okay? So a good teaching point, at least in this drill, is when I'm dribbling, I'm trying my best to look up and I'm using the top of my foot to try to keep the ball close to me, right? I don't want to take big touches and run around because then somebody else can just walk over and just kick my ball out, right? Does anybody have any questions about this game before we try it? Pretty easy?
No.
Alright, are we ready?
We got to remember who's on our team, right?
Everybody ready?
We need some flags or something.
Get a medical picture of the team, guys.
Roll our sleeves up.
Here we go.
Roll our sleeves up or something so we know who's on our team.
Last three.
Yeah, so that's the goal of the program is with this, especially with ball mastery, is that the crew will provide enough balls so that every kid will have a ball, because every lesson will have every lesson has a section where each kid by themselves. Okay.
I just felt bored. There's going to be 9 lessons total. So do you guys know anything else, really? Or have any other goals that you guys like to do?
I do like the baby games, kindergarten. Like, it's almost like these are like geared more towards the high schooler. I've done that before.
3rd to 5th.
That having lots of little bodies get out could lead to some unwanted behaviors. So, that's a good time where it could be something like, okay, if you are out, you do 10 jumping jacks and then you're back in the game. So different ways for you all to modify as you need, and we'll include some of those ideas in the actual written curriculum for you all, but wanted just to see some ways that you can just get the kids up and moving, having fun, warming up, and those are just ideas. The warm-up is also for you all to use as you have warm-ups that you see fit. You know your classroom. You might have things that you implement at the beginning of the school year. That's the way that you set up your classroom, and you do that. We don't want to take away from anything that you're already doing. Our goal is to enhance what you're already doing and make things easier. So just kind of keep that in mind that with our curriculum and the activities, we'll always provide progressions, different things to consider, but you all can also modify as you know your classroom and as you know your kids to make things either easier or harder for your students. We'll go back outside here in a little bit, so feel free to kind of relax here as we go through like the meat of what this curriculum is going to look like. So it's still currently getting changed up a little bit. It's going to get branded, so we don't have the actual template to show you quite yet.
How many of you guys have played soccer before? Most of you? A good amount of you? So, to do anything to be successful in this game, or just to have fun really, you need to be able to dribble the ball, of course, in some capacity. So at this point, we've seen the ball mastery videos, done the warm-up, but to really get a feel for the ball, I thought it'd be a good idea to take you guys through the 3 different progressions that we showed upstairs, right? Is there an extra soccer ball anywhere?
Sure, here you go.
And when you go through your different ball mastery progressions, it doesn't have to take long. They're all progressions, obviously, so they start out pretty simple for the most part, and you can kind of work your way up from there. But the first one, just to get a feel for the ball, are soul circles. So pretty self-explanatory, but when teaching this, you can start with either foot. We can do left, and then we can go right. We're just going to instruct students, really. You're just going to put the sole of their foot on top of the soccer ball. You're just going to get a feel for the ball. Roll it around circles. Once you've done 5, 6, just switch feet. Or you can do numbers, you can do letters, you can spell the alphabet, maybe. Different things like that.
What letter does soccer start with?
Or you can spell out soccer or fruit, something like that. So pretty simple to start off, but once you guys get a feel for that, we're going to start moving just a little bit. So from there, lesson 1 was toe taps, right? So this time the ball is stationary. It's just going to be right in front of you, and you're literally just tapping the top of the ball with your feet. You don't have to go fast either. Take your time. Just get a feel for the ball.
This is a week.
One of the things as you guys are doing this that's really helpful is if you have like a 30-second stopwatch. So like you let them get a feel for it, just like you guys just did. You say, okay, now you're gonna try to set a new score, and it's just you, just yourself. 30 seconds, count how many you can get, go! And they go and they have fun. And you come back and you can give a little coaching of like, oh, you were trying to bend your knees, you zoom in the details, right? And you do another 30 seconds, can you beat your score? You could do that for every progression. It takes up great time, but also they get a lot of touches, and it's nice for them to beat their own score and feel like what Stephanie said of like, if I get better at this or practice this, I get better. Wow, that translates to the classroom. So we're not going to time you guys, but if you guys want to do like a 5-second race, I don't know. That's just a thought, just a little thing that we found when we coach little kids that they really, really grasp onto.
And then finally, the last one, level 3, is just going to be soul to soul. So this time, we're incorporating both of the first progressions. You're going to be moving a little bit. So I'm starting with my left. I'm pushing the ball with the bottom of my foot right over to my right foot. So I'll slow that down a little bit. Taking the ball on the sole of my foot, I'm just rolling it to the next one. Right? So again, no need to go fast. Really start slow.
Good, got it.
Roll it to your other feet.
If it feels too easy, try to look up. Try to look up and down. Try to look up and down if it's too easy. If not, just look at the ball.
Exactly. Once you get comfortable enough, try to look up at the ball. See how fast you can go.
There you go. If that's too easy, so in the orange and the salmon hoodie, now you can try to pull it further. So now I'm trying to pull it from way over here to over here instead of really close. So you can still progress it for the kids that are, this is way too easy. You can challenge it. You want to try it? What's your name? Lathan. Let's try it. There you go. Pull it further. Pull it further. There you go. The next one will be inside your foot. The next one will be outside your foot. And you start connecting it sole to inside, sole to outside. So it's pretty logical of how it's like progressing. So if you ever get stuck, just sole of your foot. Just sole of our foot. Does that make sense? Makes it easy.
Like I mentioned earlier, just getting into this first lesson. So at this point, you've done your warm up. The kids kind of have a feel for the ball. But now we're really going to start laying the foundation to be a soccer player. Or just have fun, whatever you guys want to do. So, this first lesson is just an introduction to dribbling. This lesson touches on a lot of physical education assessments. Receiving, passing with your feet, dribbling with your feet. But this first one, like I said earlier, whether it's your first time touching a soccer ball or you've been playing 8 years or since you were 4 or whatever it might be, it's just going to be a basic intro to dribbling. So The students are going to start on the baseline or an end line of your teaching space. Does everybody see these two different colored cones? So we got blue cones and a line of orange cones. We are just going to, and I'll demo here in a second, dribble from the top of our foot to the blue cones. And we're going to stop at the blue cones. So when you're explaining how to dribble a soccer ball, obviously we're using our feet in soccer. So ball's going to start on the end line. And I'm trying to keep the ball as close to me as possible, right? If I'm dribbling the soccer ball like this, just running on it, I'm not really dribbling. I'm just kind of kicking and chasing after the ball, right? So when explaining how to dribble, when I'm starting with the soccer ball, I'm using the top of my foot and I'm taking really small touches. And it's really important too at first not to just run into this, right? We're gonna start at kind of a walking pace and then we can progress into a jogging pace. But I'm just trying to keep the ball as close to me as possible with the top of my foot. So when I start, I'm looking up, I'm taking a few touches just like this, looking up. If you need to stop and collect the ball, collect yourself, that's totally fine. But I'm just gonna try to make it to these blue cones. And once I make it to these blue cones, I'm just gonna stop it with the sole of my foot, the top of my foot, okay? Does anybody have any questions about this?
1 foot or 2?
You can use either feet. Either feet. Either foot. Alright. Are we ready? So we're just gonna dribble slowly and under control to these blue cones, alright?
Every step should be a touch of the ball. Every step. That's how close you should
And
be.
stop. Alright. And then we keep going to these orange cones. Every step is a touch. Touch. Touch.
Point your toes down. Point your toe down.
Toes
Should be
down.
hitting the laces of your shoes.
Perfect.
Those little details you guys are doing.
Alright. And we're just gonna turn. Facing the other direction. Alright, and we're gonna go again. To the blue cones. Every step is a touch.
Point your toe down to the ground and use your laces to gently push it. So she's doing sole. She's doing sole. That's,
Yeah.
so you're doing sole, which is great for stopping it. Right? You're trying to do laces as you push.
Oh.
Point your toe down.
Thank you.
I'm just trying to demonstrate how you
No, I
guys
appreciate it.
I'm not big on it.
No, thank you. I was like, oh.
Stephanie was like, treat them like they're students. I was like, okay, I can do that.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
I know. I'm like,
So once you go through this, once or twice, students really get a piece of the ball. We can kind of progress from there to a slight jogging pace, right? We don't want to rush this. We really want to focus on our technique. As you progress from there, though, to the jogging pace, we're slowly going to start adding in different skill moves with the ball, right? So this first one. Down here. We're still going at a walking pace. But now, I'm dribbling, right? I'm looking up. This is called a step over. Whichever foot I'm dribbling with, for example, if I'm using my left foot, once I get halfway in between these cones, I'm going to stop the ball, I'm going to look up. If I'm dribbling with my left foot, I'm going to step over the ball with my left foot, right? And I'm going to push it with my right foot. And then you keep dribbling. Does that make sense? I'll show you guys one more time. So I'm starting on this white line. I'm still walking. The ball's under control. I'm taking a few touches. I'm going to stop the ball. I'm going to look up. Using my left foot, you can use your right foot. It depends which foot you're dribbling with. I'm going to step over the ball, just like this. And I'm going to keep dribbling with my opposite foot and look up. Right? You have any questions about that one? Alright, here we go. You ready? And go.
We're going to blue all the way.
Got it. Like stuff over already.
So once you get back, just keep dribbling to the other side. Step over.
Yep.
So that's just kind of level one of the introduction to skill move. Just like with the ball mastery, it progresses from there. 2 in the ball mastery progressions. Level 2 with skill moves is going to be a rollover. Or soul to soul, just like in the ball mastery video, right? So, same thing. I'm going nice and slow, controlled pace. I'm dribbling, my toe is down, every step is a touch on the ball. Once I get halfway to the cones, in this case I'm using my left foot, again. I'm going to use the sole of my foot on top of the soccer ball, and roll it to my opposite foot, right? In this case it's my right foot. And then I'm just going to keep dribbling up to the cone, and I'm going to stop. We'll do the same thing. Do we have any questions about the rollover? All right. Whenever you're ready.
Ball mastery, how you make it about you versus you. You could easily do the same thing here. What we found with these 8, 9, 10-year-olds is the less they're standing still, the better they are listening. I'm sure you guys are all nodding and agreeing. So the easiest thing that we've done is we'll say, all right, you're racing yourself to the blue cones and back. You have a minute. How many times can you go? And you don't even care about his skill. You don't care about anything. I'm just getting them going quickly. And then when they get back, it's like, all right, now I'm going to challenge you with this. How many can you do? Can you beat your score? Now I'm going to challenge you with this. Can you beat your score? So you start to layer it in, but they're already moving, they're already listening. So the same idea is the ball mastery, it's them versus them. You can do the same thing for the dribbling and just progress it. Does that make sense? Jordan's just trying to slow down and teach it, but obviously I don't think you would go this slow in your classroom. Everybody would be running in all the different corners. Does that make sense? Cool.
All right, moving into level 3. And I think it's important to note too that by no means do you have, if you're not feeling comfortable, you don't have to do a level 3. If you feel comfortable just with 1 and 2 and you don't think you're ready for level 3 yet, it's completely fine, right? So we're all trying to learn and take our time with this. This last one, it's a little tricky, so pay attention. Try to pay attention. It's called a feint. So, once again, ball on the end line. Every step is a touch with my foot. So toe down, taking a touch. Now, once I get about halfway here, I'm not touching the ball anymore. So if I'm dribbling with my left foot, I'm going to step this way into this open space, out the soccer ball, right? I'm leaning my shoulder this way. And I'm using my other foot to push the ball in the opposite direction, right? So I'll show you guys a few more times. So now this is with my right foot. So I'm dribbling, dribbling. I'm dropping my shoulder with my foot into this open space right here. And I'm pushing the ball with my opposite foot. And I'm going to dribble up to the blue cones and stop the ball. So one more time. Starting on the end line. I'm dribbling, looking up. I'm going to step this way with my shoulder. And I'm going to push the ball with the opposite foot. I'm going to keep dribbling. Any skill move you like. So we're going to do the same thing. Who remembers the 3 skill moves? Anybody remember all 3? Got soul push. Soul push. Step over. And then a feint. So we're going to do it one more time through. Except this time, just choose any skill move you'd like to practice, okay? Play against each other and just have fun. So that's exactly what we're going to do now. So, I'm going to split you guys into teams of 3. I'm going to use the cones kind of as end zones for the goals. That's how you're going to score, right? So I'll put you in the teams first, and then we'll get on the field and play a little bit. So let's just do 3 and 3. So it'll be you 3. You guys can just go to that other side.
We want to show you guys how the mini games you can play with. The scoring rules are very different. So right now we had you can score by dribbling across this white line. So if you 3 dribbling across the white line, you got to control it, not kicking it across. You got to dribble across. And this team would dribble across the blue line. Very simple. Make sense? Easy? Yeah, one ball here. So we'll have them start. You guys can back up. If it goes out of bounds, we're not doing throw-ins. You can just dribble or kick in.
So in order for them to score, they have to dribble
They have to dribble it, control it across the line, or pass it across the line to a teammate.
I got you. You got this.
Yep, you're trying to go past that line, so it's like an end zone. That's it. That's it. So if you don't have goals, or you have only 2 goals, this would be an easy way to say everybody can play and everybody can score. Does that make sense? Okay, go ahead, let's play. So 3-on-3, they're just trying to dribble across the end zone. That's it.
Oh, no.
Not controlled perfectly, no goal.
Sorry. No. That's a good way for me to have
Oh, you guys lost it.
That was not.
I got it.
Oh, she's in.
I got this.
Jordan, you want to get that started? I'll get this set up.
So I'm just jumping right in front of you.
You're fine.
You have to dribble it between one of the 2 goals. That wouldn't count. That wouldn't count.
We both going for this.
No, one is Jordan's one.
Okay, because I didn't see that down there.
The final game was, obviously you guys all have different setups, whether it's gym or outside, everybody's different. You may or may not have a lot of mini goals like we have over here. You may have big goals. It doesn't really matter. You guys can create the final game to be fun and exciting, whether it's just a line on the basketball court or you use 4 cones to make something very simple. At the end of the day, we want them to have fun playing. Have some moment to be free playing, to try out the skills, and then it's practice. Does that make sense? Are there any questions about the whole progression that Jordan went through? How that would apply to you guys?
No questions.
I find that hard to believe.
I'd say, any thoughts about the activities? Like, as you think about, can your kids play this? How you would teach it?
Yeah.
Any questions on like how you even explain some of these concepts or how you would teach the game?
One thing, I don't know if this works or not, but like when I was doing it, I take the ball, regular ball, and I just deflate it down so
Yep.
it doesn't move as fast in the room.
Yep.
Because otherwise, man, they're just, there it goes.
Yep.
So is that something that, you know, to do, the right
Yep.
way of doing it?
So there's lots of ways. You can deflate it.
Okay.
You can use volleyballs that are a little bit softer, easier for beginners. Or like we were talking about upstairs, the futsal balls that are a little heavier, so they don't bounce as much, they kind of stay on the ground. So there's a lot of different ways you can kind of play with the ball and manipulate it, for sure.
And again, that intake form is why that's helpful, so that we know what you have at your disposal, so that if it will be helpful, and Chris and I were just talking about this, if it will be helpful to have 1 or 2 futsals or a couple of squishy balls, like some of those soft balls, you know, that's something for us to consider. You know, this is a pilot still, which is why we're starting it off small, why we have you all here, why we want some of your feedback, because we want this to be super doable for all of you. So when we have the equipment that you already have, then it gives us a good idea of what you may need and what we can provide. But however you need to modify it so that it's doable for your space, whether you're in a cafeteria or a gym or you take it outside, you know, we're really open to how you modify it to fit the kiddos that you have in your classroom.
Another question, because I've had at one time I had 3 different fields set up with actual goals until one weekend somebody came through and cut them all down at the ground to take them and turn them in for money. So what do you, I mean, how do you work with that situation? Just use something that you take up, take down? And they replaced it, but I don't want, I haven't had concrete in the ground. They just
Yeah, there's all different ones. I mean, I don't know the school and what their resources are, but there's different portable goals that you can use. Even like these little white ones right here, those are affixed. These ones right here behind the group, they make those in portable sizes all the way up to the big goals in portable sizes. You can even just use, like we did cones, very simple. And it's big, you got to score on the ground or knee below or whatever, like come up with like different kind of subjective rules. At the end of the day, you want the kids to be able to play to know the end is I got to score how. As long as you explain how, they're not going to argue if it's a perfect World Cup goal or not. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Maybe they will. I don't know. They're laughing.
But this is the other thing too, is on that intake form, one of the questions we have is, do you have a goal? Do you have nets?
Okay.
Because how to shoot a target. You don't need this massive target where the boxes go everywhere. Having some of those smaller ones that we will provide if you don't have any, that is more you take in and out, so you don't have anybody stealing them or anything like that, and they're a little bit more affordable. Those are things that we provide if you need them.
If you're at 2 schools, do you get like double?
Yeah, that's a good thing.
We are hoping that each school will have their own gear.
Yeah.
That is the hope.
So as you do the intake form, if you are one of those teachers that has 2 schools, this is what I ask from you. If you move your equipment back and forth, then submit it as you are one school. If you have 2 schools and you're keeping sets of equipment at your school, just submit the form twice and put your name and